Today, I'm going to show you how to have strong, healthy personal boundaries with none of the confusion about what's okay to ask for from other people, and I'm going to do it in 5 simple steps. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler Klein, and I run a Catholic mental health practice called Archangel Catholic, and I want to make sure that you have the skills and the understanding necessary for strong mental health so you can pursue holiness and sainthood the way God intended you to. So today, we're going to talk about a topic that hits really deep. And honestly, it's quite personal for me, and that is people pleasing. I struggle with this a lot, and it's not a humble brag about my sacrificial nature. That is my inability to have the discipline to respect my boundaries so that I can actually love people better. People pleasing it's a coping mechanism for having strong attachments, for having security in relationships, for trying to walk on eggshells around people all the time. And it's not good. It's not loving another person when you sacrifice over and over for them. It actually removes your ability to be who you need to be fully to love them even better. It is not loving when you're all give and no take in a relationship. It hurts them and it hurts you. So if you are like that, if you walk on eggshells, if you're nervous about how people perceive you, if you struggle to say no to things when you know you should, then this episode's going to be for you. And the hard truth about this is that out of everybody you're trying to please, the vast majority of them don't care. They don't even notice. You could do 1,000 things for somebody, and they won't realize that you're doing them, and they won't wake up and reciprocate it back. The problem is not that they're selfish, it's that we're all humans and we're wrapped up in our own lives. We can't see other people well, and for a lot of people, being relational and empathetic, that's a very, very difficult thing. So it doesn't matter how much you do for somebody. The problem is they'll probably never flip that switch and give it back. You're never going to receive that, and instead you're just going to drain yourself constantly, have no boundaries, and be burnt out trying to love that person and getting nothing in return. So the first of our 5 tips that are going to handle this people-pleasing behavior is to start to reflect on the taker and giver narrative in your life. If you are always giving and they are always taking, I want you to reflect on what those relationships are. It could be with family, it could be with friends, a spouse, even a child. Think about what they are. And then I want you to write some ideas of how you can flip that narrative and begin building the other side of that equation. So for example, let's say there's a friend of mine, we'll call him Joe for the example. Joe, I see him frequently and he only talks about himself. It's always getting advice for his problems, venting about his life, his needs, his struggles. And that's fine. I want to be there for Joe. But he never asks me, what's going on in my life? What do I need? I never get a chance to express myself. And it becomes a relationship where I'm doing all the giving, he's doing all the taking, and it's actually very draining. And I'm unable to show up for Joe the way I really need to. So I reflect and I realize that that's one of my all give and all take relationships. Well, how do I flip that script? Well, maybe I decide that I'm going to reach out and say, Joe, can we get together this week? I have something in my life I need your advice on. I need to talk through something going on, a struggle I have. And then when you get there, you hold to it. You say, hey, Joe, I know I want to talk about this thing you're bringing up, but can we first talk about something going on in my life? I have to get it off my chest. And you begin a pattern of that. Over time, you're going to start to build in a switch in this relationship. You're not trying to bring it the other way. Like, you don't want to be all take on your end. But you're going to build in the sense that we have a dynamic conversation back and forth. So tip number 1, reflect on what relationships are all give and all take, and then find a way to start to begin the process of rewriting that narrative, rewriting that script of all give and all take. Tip number 2 is to build a saying no ladder. And I love this tip because it's really, really, really practical. So you're going to take the 5 areas in your life that you struggle to say no in. It could be things at work, it could be things with family, with friends, but you struggle to say no when you should. And you're going to rank them lowest to highest. Number 5 is the lowest, and that's the bottom of the ladder. That's actually the easiest one for you to say no to if you tried. Number 1 at the top of the ladder is probably the thing you could never say no to right now, and that's okay. All these tips are about starting small and rebuilding the narrative in your life. So take the 5 things and rank them, and then look and say, number 5, I'm going to practice there. This week or this month, I'm going to say no in that area. And then you get better at it. It'll get easier. You'll get more secure. And you'll move up to the second rung of your ladder, number 4. And you'll say, okay, I'm going to practice that. And eventually you're going to get to the top of your ladder to number 1, and you're going to be able to say no there. And you're going to have this much well-practiced technique, this well-practiced skill of saying no when you need to. And using this ladder to be able to start at the easiest one and build up to it. So you're not overwhelmed by trying to get good at this skill all at once. So tip number 2 is to build a saying no ladder. Rank 5 things, hardest to easiest, that you have for saying no to. And then practice on the easiest one and start moving up that ladder. Tip number 3 is to start combating the lie that saying no is a selfish thing. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to find a mantra, probably not a great word, but a phrase or something that you're going to write down and put it in a place you're going to see it all the time. It could be on sticky notes. It could be in a journal. It could be an expo marker. You write it on your mirror. You see it every single day, maybe multiple times. Maybe it's a background on your phone. It's going to be something that reminds you. It could be that saying no isn't selfish. It just makes you honest. It could be that love isn't sacrifice for the sake of sacrifice. It could be that you understand that being people pleasers is like being driftwood in the ocean. You're just cast about wherever people need you. You really need to be a boat with a rudder. Like, that's a great analogy for this. So that image could be that. It could say, don't be driftwood, be a boat. Something. And it's not so much the words you pick, whether saying no isn't selfish, it's honest, or don't be driftwood, be a boat, whatever it is. It's the fact that you're going to see it over and over and over and over. And you're going to say it to yourself. And as you're reminded over and over, it's going to start to become a core belief of yours. And you're going to be able to live out of that. So number 3 is to combat the lie that it's selfish to say no. And you're going to do that by writing some phrase or an image down somewhere where you're going to see it frequently. And you're going to just allow yourself to soak that in and make it part of just how you think. Number 4 is to get really, really clear on your values. And this seems obvious, but people don't do this. So I want you to write down the values to you. It could be rest. I don't mean laziness, but just actual rest, like I'm enjoying life. It could be hard work. It could be family. It could be faith. It could be honesty. Some set of values, write down 5 to 10 of them. And then I want you to say whenever a request is going to break one of these. For example, I've worked 60 hours this week. I need to get rest. That's one of your values. And somebody says, I need you. You say, I can't. I cannot do that because that would break one of my values. It could be faith. It could be, I want to do this for you, but you need it on Sunday and I'm going to church with my family. Can't do it. It breaks one of my values. When you begin to live out of this set of values, then you're going to live like Christ did. And you're going to live as an honest person who knows what he's about. And it's going to allow you to love people way more effectively. And in the words of everyone's favorite musical, Hamilton, if you stand for nothing, Burr, then what will you fall for? Have something you stand for, and that will make it so much easier to say no, because you can blame your values. I would love to do that, but I've worked 60 hours this week. I know rest is critical for me, so I'm going to make sure I get rest, and I'm going to say no so I don't break that value. So, number 4, make a list of your core values and start to internalize them so you can use them as parameters for saying yes and no to things. Number 5 is pretty simple, and it's going to be identifying the emotion. And what you're going to do is you're going to feel something and you're going to stop. And you're going to say, what exactly is the emotion I'm feeling and why? You're going to disassociate from it. So you're going to say, I'm being asked to do something. I know I struggle to say no to this. I'm going to end up going through with this and I can't do it. It would be bad for me. I'm feeling anger about that. So what you say is, I am feeling the emotion of anger because I'm being asked to do X, Y, Z thing. Now, you're not going to do a lot with that at first. You're just going to practice the skill. Now, over time, you're going to build your emotional vocabulary, your emotional repertoire for how to handle these things. And when you know yourself, what you're feeling and why, it's so much easier to take a step back and say no to that thing. Or take a step back and ask, should I still do this or not? So step 5 to stop people pleasing is simply to practice identifying the emotion you were feeling, saying it as, this is the emotion I'm feeling right now, and this is why I'm feeling it. Step 5, identify your emotions. To wrap this up, as you start to put these 5 steps in, and maybe there's one tip that works for you and then you build the 2 or 3 later, find the 1 or find the 5 that work and start to put them into play. And there's a couple things you should know. 1, you're going to start to not like the feeling. You're going to say, is this selfish? Is this wrong? Is it self-serving? Is it prideful? And remember, that is absolutely a lie from the devil. You are putting this into place so you can be more fully who you were meant to be, so you can more fully love others. Another way to think about it is you're putting this into place so that God can love you more easily. Sometimes in emptying ourselves in an unhealthy manner for others, we struggle to allow God to speak into our lives. It is not selfish, but know that you're going to feel it. Know that you're going to ask that, and you need to put that lie down as quickly as you can. I love in the Gospel of Mark, there's a great example of this. It's in chapter 1, and it's verses 36 to 38. And Simon and those who were with him followed him. Jesus had just gone out to pray by himself. Followed him, and they found him and said to him, "Everyone is searching for you." And he said to them, "Let us go on to the next towns, that I may preach there also. Also, for that is why I came out." So they meant well, but the people were trying to put their expectations on Jesus, and Jesus wouldn't allow it. It's not that they were evil or they were doing something wrong inherently, just like your friends and family aren't. But Jesus said, that is not what I need to do right now. And so I won't say no to those I won't say yes to those expectations. I'll say no. I have other people I need to see today. If our Lord can do this, you can too. There's no real way around it. One last final point is that when you start doing these things, you're going to change. Your relationships will change, and people will say that. They will say, "You have changed, something is different," and they probably won't like it. Good, because you have changed. You need to accept that. Things will feel different. You will feel so much better, so much more alive, so much healthier, and your ability to love others will be so much greater. So stick with it. It's going to feel like change, but putting these things into play, going deeper with a counselor if you need to, and to stop your people-pleasing behaviors is going to be a great deal of freedom for you in your life. At Archangel Catholic, we really do believe that you have the right to great mental health care as a Catholic and as a Christian. You are meant to pursue holiness, to find sainthood, to allow Jesus to love you, and you can't do that if you're burdened with mental illness or struggles in your relationships. So we give you a video every week or every 2 weeks at the least to help you understand that and grow in that. So please like and subscribe, share these videos if they're helpful. Come back, we're going to have more and more, and every video is meant to be very practical for you. You can leave that video with the information you need. I have a video about how to journal. You'll notice a lot of these tips, how to do the writing things down. Journaling is incredible, and it's been one of the best things I've ever done. So I'll put a card here about other journaling prompts you can use to help begin that process in your life. And I promise you, you're going to feel a lot of clarity and a lot of peace bringing a journal into your world. Thanks for watching the video. Share this with others. And if you need more profound mental help, if some of these tips don't work, don't be afraid to ask a counselor. Find a good counselor in your area and pursue professional help. Thank you.